SPOM Set C Paper 1 Risk Management. Which of the following is not a characteristics of risk? Not a characteristics of risk. A. It involves uncertainty in outcomes. It always leads to financial loss. It can be measured through probability. It can be managed through mitigation strategy, which is not a characteristics of risk. Uncertainty in outcomes, it is a risk. Measured through probability, it is a risk. Managed through mitigation strategy, it is a characteristics of risk. So B is not. So the answer is B. Which of the following correctly differentiate risk from uncertainty? A. Risk is always uncontrollable, whereas uncertainty is manageable. No. Risk can be measured statistically. Yes. While uncertainty cannot. Yes. Risk has no financial impact. No. Uncertainty always results in losses, whereas risk does not know. So the answer is B. Which risk classification considers whether risk remains after applying mitigation strategy? Risk remains after applying mitigation strategy. Op- Strategic risk, residual risk, inherent risk, operational risk. So risk remains, मतलब बचा खुचा risk, that is residual. So the answer is B. An automobile company's risk of losing market share due to emerging electric vehicle is an example of operational risk, financial risk, strategic risk, compliance risk. So the answer is C, strategic risk. Which risk management strategy involves transferring risk to a third party, such as an insurance providers? Risk avoidance, no. Risk retention, no. Risk transfer, yes. Risk mitigation, no. So the answer is C. A company installs high security firewall to prevent cyber attack. This is an example of A. Hedging, no. B. Risk mitigation, yes. Risk retention, no. Risk transfer, no. So the answer is B. Which of the following is an external risk? External risk of for a manufacturing company. Labor strikes within the factory, no. Changes in government taxation policies. Outdated production machinery, no. Poor employee training program, no. So the answer is B. External risk. Which of the following correctly describes the relationship between risk classification and controllability? Internal risks are usually more controllable than external risk. Yes. External risks are always manageable with proper mitigation. No. Financial risks are never controllable. No. Strategic risks are always controllable. No. So the answer is A. An organization facing a lawsuit for environmental violence due to improper waste disposal is an example of compliance risk, strategic risk, customer satisfaction risk, financial risk. So lawsuit for environmental violation, it is compliance risk. So the answer is A. And risk management, the term risk appetite. Appetite is a risk willing to take. An organization is willing to take the risk. Risk appetite, मतलब भूख. The maximum risk an organization is willing to take. The probability of an event occurring, no. The financial impact of an event, no. The total number of risks an organization faces, no. So the answer is A. Which of the following is not a component of COSO ERM framework? Risk governance and culture, no. Risk strategy and objective settings, no. Risk expansion and market penetration. Risk information communication and reporting. No. So the which is not a component of COSO ERM framework. So the answer is C. According to ISO 310002018, which of the following is the core principle around which the ERM risk management standard is established? Risk identifications and treatment, no. Value creations and protections, yes. Governance and compliance, no. Performance of optimization, no. So the answer is B. What is primary objective of defining risk appetite in an organization? To eliminate all risk associated with business operation, no. To determine the level of risk an organization is willing to accept in achieving its objective, yes. To create uncertainty in business decision, no. To establish mandatory regulation, no. So the answer is B. Which of the following is an essential step in the ISO 310002018? Increasing business revenue through risk exposures, no. Avoiding all business risk entirely, no. Communicating and consulting with stakeholder. Implementing financial penalties for risk taking behavior, no. So the answer is C. Under the SEBI regulation 2015, what is minimum number of members required for risk management committee? 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer is B, 3. Which of the following is a key reason for integrating business continuity plan with ERM to increase regulatory burdens? No. To ensure a coordinated response. To ensure coordinated response to operational interruptions and risks. To eliminate the needs for board oversight, no. To focus only on financial risk, no. So the answer is B. According to G20, which of the following is a key aspect of corporate governance? Maximizing shareholders' returns at any cost, no. Avoiding compliance with regulatory bodies, no. Ensuring transparency, fairness, and accountability in corporate decision making, yes. Limiting board oversight to financial matters only, no. So the answer is C. What is the purpose of conducting scenario analysis and risk management? To predict future risks and their potential impact, yes. Eliminate all possible risk, no. To manipulate financial data for risk reporting, no. To focus only on internal operational risk, no. The answer is A. As per the Company Act, which section require director to lay down internal financial control IFC and they ensure their adequacy? So the answer is 134.5E. What does SA 315 issued by ICAI primarily focus on? SA 315: assessing business profitability, identifying and assessing risk of material misstatement in financial statement. Identifying and assessing risk of material misstatement in financial statement. SA 315. So the answer is B. Which of the following is a key responsibility of board of directors in risk management? Setting a strategy and high level objectives. Executing daily risk mitigation, no. Auditing, no. Approving only financial risk, no. So the answer is A. What is primarily responsible for setting the tone at the top? CRO, CEO, risk manager, internal auditor, CEO. Tone at the top. Which of the following is not? Internal stakeholders in risk management: employee, managers, shareholders, regulatory authorities. Which is not an internal stakeholder? So the answer is D. Which of the following is a key role of risk manager? Risk manager. Approving the company's financial statement, no. Identifying and assessing risk within the organization, yes. Setting up internal control mechanism for audit, no. Defining risk appetite. So the key role for risk manager is identifying and assessing risk within the organization. So the answer is B. What is primary role of risk owners within an organization? Overseeing external regulatory compliance, no. Identify, assessing and mitigating a specific risk. Conducting a statutory audit, no. Handling only financial risk, no. So the answer is B. How does the CEO contribute to risk management? How? By assuming overall ownership of risk management, by focusing only on financial risk reporting, no. By approving a statutory audit report, no. By delegating risk management entirely to internal auditor. How does the CEO contribute the risk management? So the answer is A. Which of the following responsibility is not a part of risk owners rules? Assigning risk responsibility to internal stakeholder, no. Conducting independent financial audit. Implementing risk mitigation plans, monitoring and reviewing risk regularly, which is not a part of risk owners rules. So the answer is B. What is the primary function of an external auditor? Monitoring governance and control system, yes. Approving corporate risk, no. Making a strategic business decision, no. Managing the company's operational risk, no. So the answer is A. How do internal auditors support risk management in an organization? By evaluating the effectiveness of risk governance, compliance, and control measures, by setting a strategic business goals, by directly managing financial risk portfolios, by making investment decision. तो इंटरनल ऑडिटर का जो मेन काम होता है वो जीआरसी का होता है, रिस्क गवर्नेंस कंप्लायंस एंड कंट्रोल. सो द आंसर शुड बी ए. Which of the following best differentiate a risk manager from a risk owner? Differentiate a risk manager from risk owner. Risk manager focuses on overall risk operation, while risk owner is accountable for specific risk. The answer is right. Risk owners lead the internal audit function, while risk owners oversees financial risk. No, risk manager responsible for compliance, while risk owners handles governance. No, risk owners sets the corporate strategy, while risk manager conduct external risk analysis. No, so the perfect answer should be A. What is the primary objectives of risk identification in the risk management process? To create an audit trail for financial reporting, to identify and document potential threat that could impact an entity objectives, yes. To eliminate all risk, no. To ensure regulatory compliance, no. So the answer should be B. Which of the following is an effective method for risk identification? Only using historical financial statement, no. Conducting SWOT analysis and creating a risk register, avoiding external stakeholder involvement, relying solely on intuitions. So the best and effective method for risk identification is SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So the answer should be B. In risk evaluation, what does the formula level of risk equal to consequences into likelihood? The financial impact of a risk on a business, the ranking of risk based on severity and frequency. A method to eliminate risk permanently, no. The a legal requirement under corporate governance, no. So the answer should be B. In the likelihood scale of risk evaluation, which level correspondent to a risk that has occurred every 10 years or more in the industry? Level 1 very unlikely, level 2 unlikely, level 3 likely, level 4 very likely. So the answer should be every 10 years or more in likelihood of risk scale. So the answer should be level 2 unlikely. Which of the following risk quantification tools involve experts providing independent judgment until a consensus is reached? Simulation analysis, Delphi approach, decision tree analysis, no. Expected monetary value, no. Simulation, no. The answer should be B. Delphi approach. In a risk prioritization, a risk with a rating of 12 to 16 on a heat matrix requires what type of actions? No need of action is required. Action within 1 or 2 months, no. Immediate corrective actions, monitoring without intervention. So the answer should be C, immediate corrective actions. How does the Monte Carlo simulation assist in risk management? By predicting single point risk outcomes, no. By evaluating multiple risk scenarios, yes. Through repeated simulation. By eliminating all potential financial risk, no. By identifying only operational risk, no. So the Monte Carlo simulation is evaluating multiple risk scenarios. So the answer should be B. What is the key difference between sensitivity analysis and scenario analysis? सिनेरियो एनालिसिस बेसिकली डिफरेंट सिनेरियो के बेस पे एनालाइज करते हैं और सेंसिटिविटी भी में ये होता है कि एक एक चीज़ मतलब फैक्टर को चेंज करके करते हैं. सो देखते हैं सेंसिटिविटी एनालिसिस एग्जामिन मल्टीपल वेरिएबल्स एट वंस वाइल सिनेरियो एनालिसिस चेंजेस ओनली वन वेरिएबल्स. No, sensitivity analysis changes one input at a time, yes, while scenario analysis examine multiple input together. Scenario analysis is qualitative while sensitivity analysis is quantitative. No, sensitivity analysis does not impact this. So the answer should be B. Which of the following is an example of qualitative risk analysis technique? Example: expected monetary value EMB, no. Simulation analysis, no. Heat map, value at risk, no. So the qualitative, so the focus should be qualitative. Okay, so the answer should be C, heat map, risk matrix. Which of the following statement is true about decision tree in risk management? It is used to visually map out risk scenario and decision points. The answer is yes. It only apply to financial risk evaluation, no. It eliminates uncertainty from business decision, no. It does not consider probability in decision making, no. So the answer should be A. Which of the following best defines risk appetite? The level of risk an organization is willing to accept in pursuit of its objective. The absolute elimination of all risk, no. The strategy to transfer all risk to external party, no. Detailed process of identifying every potential risk, no. So the answer should be A. How does risk appetite differ from risk tolerance? Risk appetite and risk tolerance. Risk appetite is set only for short-term initiative, while risk tolerance applies for to long-term strategy. No, risk appetite is broader and strategic. Yes, whereas risk tolerance is specific acceptable limit for particular risk. Risk tolerance is specific acceptable limits for particular risk. Risk appetite is expressed quantitatively, whereas risk tolerance is qualitative only. There is no difference. So the perfect answer should be B. All the answers are incorrect except B. Which of the following factor is least likely to influence an organization's risk appetite? So which of the following factor is least likely? Nature of the industry, stage of company's growth, financial strength and resources, company's logo design. So the answer should be D. When the cost of implementing a control exceeds the benefit gained from reducing a risk, the most appropriate treatment is 2. Terminate the risk by stopping the related activity. No. Transfer the risk through insurance. No. Tolerate the risk while preparing a contingency plan. Treat the risk by applying extensive control. So the answer should be C. Cost of implementing control exceed the benefit gains. Which method is commonly used to transfer risk to a third party? Increasing internal control, no. Purchasing insurance, yes, for safety. Eliminating the risk by terminating the activity, no. Accepting the risk without action, no. So the answer should be B. What distinguishes the terminate risk treatment option from treat? Terminate from treat. Terminate, eliminate the risk by ceasing the risky activity, while treat involve managing risk through controls. Terminate, eliminate the risk. Terminate, eliminate the risk by ceasing the risky activity, yes, while treat involves managing risk through control. Terminate, reduce risk to an acceptable level, while treat completely transfer the risk. No. Both opinion aim to completely eliminate the risk. No. Terminate is used only for financial risk, while treat is applied to operational risk. No. So the perfect answer should be A, and all the three are incorrect. A well-defined risk appetite statement primarily benefits an organization. Why? A well-defined risk appetite statement. Guaranteeing the elimination of all risk? No, never. Aligning stakeholder expectations and guiding risk-based decision making. Increasing risk exposure to achieve higher return. Removing the need for ongoing risk monitoring? No. So the answer should be B. What is the main purpose for controlling risk within a risk management framework? To completely eliminate all risk, to reduce or mitigate risk exposure through proactive measures, yes. To solely transfer, no. To focus only on financial risk, no. So the answer will be in effective contingency plan. uh, See, most of the MCQ जो देखोगे वो एलिमिनेशन मेथड पे वर्क कर देता है, तुम्हें पता चल जाएगा कि कौन सा मतलब काम करेगा नहीं। जब ऐसे ऐसे वर्ड देखे कि ऑल रिस्क, एलिमिनेट ऑल रिस्क, तो ऑल रिस्क, सोलली, ओनली, ये सब पहले ही रिमूव कर देना है। इस टाइप के आएंगे ही नहीं, क्वेश्चन मतलब आंसर हो ही नहीं सकता इस टाइप का। खैर, 49 इन अफेक्टिव कंटिजेंसी प्लानिंग which element is essential for ensuring preparedness during a crisis? Ignoring resource allocation since it is not needed for emergencies. Developing and regularly testing a communication plan. Relying solely on historical data without revising plans, no. Eliminating all risk, no. So the answer would be B. Which of the following statement best summarize the relationship between risk treatment and risk control? Risk treatment and risk control. They are synonymous. Both completely eliminate risk. Both completely eliminate risk, no. Risk treatment involves selecting appropriate strategy to address risk, yes, while risk control focus on implementing and controlling these strategies. Risk treatment is used only for operational risks, no. Risk control is the planning phase and risk treatment is the execution phase of the contingency planning, no. So the answer should be B. Which asset is often described as the currency of the 21st century, and is which asset? Currency of the 21st century. A capital, B information, C technology, D IPR. So the answer should be B, information. It is the currency of the 21st century. What is the primary objective of a disaster recovery plan? Disaster recovery plan objectives: to completely prevent IT failures, no, to restore critical IT system and resume operation after disaster, to eliminate all operational risk, no, to increase annual profit margin, no. So the answer should be B. Which of the following measure is considered preventive in DRP? Installing fire alarm, keeping regular off-site backup and using surge protectors, conducting employee disaster recovery training, purchasing insurance policies. So the answer should be B. What is the key difference between business continuity plan BCP and disaster recovery plan? BCP focuses on overall business operations, yes, while DRP concentrate on IT system recovery, yes. BCP is only for IT system, while DRP covers financial recovery, no. BCP eliminate risk, while whereas DRP transfer risk, no. BCP is implemented quarterly, while DRP is one-time setup, no. So the answer should be A. Which regulatory disclosures is commonly required in the management discussions and analysis section of annual report? Detailed IT system specification, no. Comprehensive risk disclosure, including key risk factors and mitigation strategy, yes. Daily operational updates, no. Internal audit manuals, no. So the answer should be B. What is the primary purpose of continuous and periodic risk reporting? To provide a stakeholder with timely update on risk exposure and mitigation of efforts, to replace the internal audit function, no. To forecast long-term market trends exclusively, no. To document historical risk events only, no. So the answer should be A. How does automation contribute to effective risk monitoring? It completely replaces the need for human oversight, no. It minimizes human errors and enables real-time tracking of IT system performance. It removes the need for disaster recovery plans. It focuses solely on financial risk analysis, no. So the answer should be B. Why is testing of the disaster recovery plan essential? Why? So they are asking the reasons why it is essential. To prove that organization will never experience a disaster, no. To identify deficiency, validate recovery procedures, and train response team, yes. To increase the overall IT budget, no. To meet regulatory requirements without practical application, no. So the answer should be B. What significant benefits does continuous risk monitoring and reporting offer to an organization? What significant benefit does continuous risk monitoring and reporting offer to an organization? It guarantees that no risk will ever materialize. It enables proactive adjustments and improved decision making based on the current risk data. It solely focus on historical data for audit purposes, no. It replaces the need for any risk management activity, no. So the answer should be B. Effective risk communication within risk monitoring requires which of the following? Technical technical jargon that only IT professional understand, clear, timely, and integrated reporting that align risk data with business performance. Clear, timely, and integrated reporting. Delayed reporting to allow for data consolidation, no. Isolated report that do not connect the to financial or operational outcome, no. So the answer should be B. Strategic risk primarily arise due to strategic risk. Short-term fluctuation in market prices, no. Changes in company's business environment, competition, or technology. Routine operational inefficiency, no. Accounting errors, no. So the answer should be B. Strategic risk It is the risk due to changes in company's business environment, competition, or technology. Which of the following is an example of a strategic risk? A manufacturing defect in a company's product. Manufacturing defect is not a strategic risk. Competitors introducing a disruptive technology, yes. A minor fluctuation in foreign exchange rate, it is not. An employee resigning from a company, no. So the example of a strategic risk. So the answer should be B. What is the best way to mitigate business portfolio risk? What is the best way to mitigate business portfolio risk? Investing all capital in a single sector? Never. No, never, never, never. Diversifying investment, yes, across different asset class. Avoiding investment in a volatile markets. Only investing in a government bonds. No. So the answer should be B. Systematic risk. Systematic risk differs from unsystematic risk because systematic risk. Why? Systematic risk can be diversified while unsystematic risk cannot. No. Unsystematic risk impact the entire market. No. Systematic risk affect the whole economy. Yeah, whole market. While systematic risk affect only a specific. No. Systematic risk affect the whole economy. Yes. Systematic risk affect the whole market, entire market, whole economy. While unsystematic risk affect only a specific company. Yes. So the answer will be C. Which of the following is a type of unsystematic risk? Unsystematic risk: interest rate risk, market rate risk, business risk, business risk, purchasing power risk. So अनसिस्टमैटिक रिस्क मतलब ऐसा रिस्क जो स्पेसिफिक कंपनी के ऊपर हो, तो वो होते हैं बिजनेस रिस्क. तो सो द आंसर शुड बी सी. What does sustainable growth rate (SGR) indicate? The maximum rate at which company can grow its sales without external financing. The minimum profit, no. Maximum risk a company can tolerate, no. So the answer should be A. A company with a high debt to equity ratio is more exposed to high debt to equity. Okay. A company with a high debt to equity ratio is more exposed to market risk. No. Business risk, no. Debt to equity ratio is basically a financial risk. It's a financial ratio. You will understand in ratio analysis. So it is financial risk. So the answer should be C. How can company mitigate industry or competition risk? Ignoring competitor activities. No, you cannot ignore your competitor. Developing unique competitive advantage. Yes, unique competitive advantage and monitoring industry trend. Yes. Reducing customer service, investing only in short term project. No. So the answer should be B. Which factor is most crucial for reducing product service risk? Delaying product testing until launch. No. Conducting through thorough market research. Yes, thoroughly market research and continuous testing. Ignoring customer feedback. You cannot ignore the customer feedback. Relying solely on historical data. No. So the answer should be B. What is the primary role for key success factors in an industry? KSF. They identify the key elements required to gain and sustain a competitive advantage. Yes. They determine the tax policy. No. They regulate financial statement. No. They measure a company legal compliance. No. So the answer should be A. According to Basel Committee, how is operational risk defined? Operational risk defined. Risk arising only from fraud and cyber attacks. No. Risk of losses resulting from inadequate or failed internal process, people, system, or external event. Risk related solely to financial transaction and market fluctuations. No. Risk that can always be eliminated through automation. No. So the answer should be B. What is the primary objective? Primary objective of a risk Process of level risk management. Okay. To increase company profits by taking more financial risk. No. To balance the cost of control with expected loss levels and improve operational efficiency. To focus only on compliance related risk. No. To reduce legal risk but not operational losses. No. So the answer should be B. Which of the following best describe outsourcing role? Outsourcing risk. Risk that arise from reliance on third party vendors. For business operation, risk that only applies to IT services. No. Risk that is eliminated by switching vendors. No. Risk that affects only large multinational corporation. No. So what is outsourcing risk? Risk that arises from reliance on third party vendors for business operation. So the answer would be A. Which of the following is not a risk associated with outsourcing? Loss of control over process. No. Increased efficiency and reduced cost. Security breaches and data theft. No. Communication and coordination issue. No. So the answer would be B. How can companies mitigate outsourcing risk? Mitigate. How? By selecting vendors based only on cost considerations. No. By setting clear contractual obligation and conducting regular performance evaluation. By outsourcing all core business functions. No. By avoiding technology in outsourcing process, you can't avoid the technology. The answer should be B. In supply chain management, what does the term upstream flow refers to? The movement of goods and services toward the end customers. No. The process of delivering finished product to retailers. Upstream flow. No. To flow of raw material and component from supplier to manufacturer. The process of handling customer complaints. No. So the answer should be C. Which of the following strategy can help build a resilient supply chain? Relying on single supplier for all raw materials. Single suppliers. No. Running a stress test and scenario analysis to identify vulnerability. Eliminating all supply chain risk completely. Ignoring geopolitical and economic risk. Which of the following risks can help build a resilient supply chain? So relying on single suppliers for all materials. No, it should not. Eliminating all supply chain risk completely. No. Ignoring geopolitical and economics. No. So the answer will be B. Running a stress test and scenario analysis. What is the main risk of using the push model? Push model is overproduction leading to excess inventory and wastage. Inability to meet customer demands on time. No. High dependency on real time data for production. No. Increased customization of products. No. So the answer will be B. How does operational risk impact product or service quality? Poor process control and human errors can lead to defect and reduced quality. Yes, it is. It only affects financial performance and do not and not product quality. No. It is completely eliminated by automation. No. It has no impact on customer satisfaction. No. So the answer should be A. Which of the following is a key method to ensure product service quality in risk management? Ignoring customer feedback and focuses only on production efficiency. See, you can't ignore customer feedbacks. You can't ignore technology. You can't avoid it. Implementing rigorous quality control measures and continuous testing. Reducing the frequency of audit to cut cost. No. Relying solely on historical data for quality assessment. No. So the answer should be B. Why is climate change considered a major risk in ERM? It directly impacts financial reporting compliance. Climate change It affects long-term business sustainability. Yes, and operational efficiency. It leads to increased competition in global market. No, it eliminates the need for corporate governance policy. So why is climate change is considered a major risk? So the answer should be B. It affects long-term business sustainability. Which of the following is an example of geopolitical risk affecting business? Geopolitical risk affecting, okay, a company introducing a new product in local market, no, country imposing sudden trade restriction on foreign companies. Yes, companies internal restructuring leading to employee layoff. No, a software upgrade. No, so the answer would be B. How can a company effectively manage social media and reputation risk? How? Ignoring customer complaint on social media. You can't ignore customer complaint. Okay. Implementing real time social media monitoring and response strategy. Yes. Relying only on traditional media for brand promotion. You cannot rely. Restricting employee from using social media platform. No one can restrict employee. So the answer should be B. Why is compliance with data privacy regulation a critical aspect of ERM? Non-compliance can lead to heavy fines, bilkul, legal actions and reputational damage. Yes. Data privacy law apply only to government organization. No. It reduce the numbers of employees required in organization. No. Compliance with the data privacy is optional for multinational corporation. No, it is not optional. So the answer should be what is primary impact of automation? It eliminates all operational risk in an organization. No, it increase efficiency, minimize human errors in risk management process (RMP). It replaces the need for risk assessment frameworks. No, it ensures that companies no longer need cyber security measures. No, so the answer should be B. How do regulatory changes pose risk to business? How do regulatory changes? They increase financial burdens and legal responsibility for companies. How do regulatory risk? They only affect government organization. No, they reduce the need for compliance terms in business. No, they apply only to business operating within a single country. No, so the answer should be A. What is one of the biggest cyber security risk introduced by remote work? Increased physical office expense. No, higher risk of data breaches. Yes, and cyber attack due to unsecured network. Improved productivity and collaboration among employee. Reduce global competition in IT. So biggest cyber security risk. So it is negative traits. So the answer should be B. How does AI, artificial intelligence, impact risk management? AI replaces the need for human risk managers. AI can't replace. AI enhance predictive risk analysis and fraud detection. Yes, it can help. AI eliminates the need for regulatory compliance. No. AI increase the complexity of manual data processing. No, it reduces. So the answer should be B. How can companies improve supply chain resilience against global disruption? Relying solely on one supplier for all raw materials, conducting a stress test. ये तो ऑलरेडी हमने कवर कर रखा है. Why is political risk analysis important for multinational companies? Why is political risk? Okay, analysis is important for multinational companies. It helps in understanding market trends and investment opportunity. बिल्कुल. It ensures that a company can operate in political unstable regions without consequences. No. It eliminates the need for risk assessment in foreign investment. No. It guarantees that business will never face economic downturn. It can never be. The only thing that is constant is change, and environment is very complex. So the answer should be A.